Hey, what's up, YouTube? This is Eric here, guys, with the TRD Squad, bringing you my version of Odd Eyes, and of course, Happy New Year. We know it's a new year here. Super excited to bring this deck profile as well. It's one of my favorite decks to play. And it's actually the very first deck I started playing back when I got into Yu-Gi-Oh! Back like in 2017, 2018. I don't remember exactly the specific date. It was right around that time. I played this deck in my locals. I built it at home. Didn't really know too much about Yu-Gi-Oh! Like the last time I played Yu-Gi-Oh! Before that was during the Synchro era. So, I was still new to XYZs. I was new to Pendulums, new to Links. I didn't, absolutely had no idea what they did. Now, a friend of mine recommended me to watch the Arc V anime. That would kind of help me like get back into Yu-Gi-Oh! Understand like the different summoning mechanics. And I did, and I really liked this deck right here. Odd Eyes was one of my decks that I decided to build first. And I'm splashing this deck with Endymion as well. Endymion is just a really good, another really good engine that goes really good with Odd Eyes because you have a lot of level sevens, and you play a bunch of spell cards when you're playing pendulums as well. So it helps out with Servant of Endymion. But it's a super fun deck to play with. It's competitive. I've been playing this deck online for a while now as well, and it's a pretty good deck. It can still put up a lot of negates. Not like 7, 8 negates, but yeah, anywhere between like 4 to 6 negates consistently. To have something that deck can easily do. Has the huge potential LTK, can also break boards because you're playing like the rebellion dragons in your extra deck. You're also playing like the big Endymion on the level 7, which can basically just pop boards depending on how many cards you have on board that can have counters and stuff like that. So this deck is very good, very fun to play with. Yeah, I'm just super excited to be bringing this deck, especially like for New Year. Just thought wanted to showcase you guys this particular build that I'm playing right here. It was either between this or Black Wings and some other decks I've just been messing around with. But yeah, I wanted to show this one first. So without further ado, guys, let's get into this deck profile. So to start things off with the Odd Eyes package, we're playing the one copy of Odd Eyes Pendulum Dragon. Funny story, that when I pulled this in the I think it's a 2015 Megatins, I just found one at Walmart like a couple of like I was like about a year ago or 2 years ago, and I pulled this card and I got so excited because I thought I had a collector's rare, but no, it's just a secret rare. Yeah, and it doesn't really, it's not even worth that much. I think it's like 50 cents, but yeah, I thought it was a collector's rare though. But regardless, so I think this card is really nice. But yeah, one copy of Odd Eyes Pendulum Dragon, playing two copies of Odd Eyes Persona. You need this card because well, for one, it puts up a negate, but it's only like an extra one monster from the extra deck negate, so it has like that limitation where you can only negate a monster from the extra deck. But it's still in a gate, still an odd ice, has pretty good defense, but we're also playing because it's a low scale, it's just a skill 1. So it's a really good card to set your skills so we can pendulum summon out. Then we're playing, you got to play 3 copies of the Odd Eyes Arc Pendulum. Now, I like to showcase a lot of like budget decks, and for the most part, this deck is extremely budget, even with like the rarity upgrades that we've gotten recently. So, like, you can not get your secret rare copies of Persona, they're like 30 to 50 cents, I believe, like on TCG Player. However, the Auto Dark Pendulum has climbed up to like the $7, $8 price range because it's being splashed a lot with like Magic Spectre and stuff like that with the new I forgot what the new pendulum deck is called, like Magic Spectre and the Draco cards as well. So yeah, this card's climbed up a little bit in price. It used to be really cheap, but yeah, this is actually maybe the more expensive card that we have in the main deck. But you do gotta play 3 copies of it though. We're also playing 3 copies of Odd Eyes Revolution Dragon. And then for the Perform Pal package, we were playing 3 copies of the Perform Pal Pendulum Sorcerer. This card is a must as well because it can pop some cards that'll trigger off Otter's Arc Pendulum. Plus, allows you to search up to 2 Perform Pal cards, depending on how many you pop. And one of the cards that we like to search with it quite a bit is Perform Pal Otter's Dissolver because this card can allow you to go into Fusion Place. And then for the last 2 Perform Pal cards we're playing 2 copies of Perform Pal Skullbat Joker, Skullcrobat Joker. Yeah, it just allows you to search for any Odd Eyes or any Magician Pendulum monster that you may have in your deck. We're only playing 2 copies though because we like to use our normal summon for another card that I'm going to showcase you guys here in a second. So 2 copies is enough, and a lot of times Skullbat Joker is a really good follow up though for like your next turns. For the Pendulum Magicians, we're simply just playing the one Dragon Claw, one Harmonizing Magician. And I'm playing Dragon Claw Magician because it has an ability where you can activate it and then you can make this card become Dragon type. So you can use this for like your link plays or also to overlay because when you're playing the Rebellion package, like the Odd Eyes Rebellion cards, the Odd Eyes Rebellion Dragon requires 2 level 7 dragons. And so yeah, Dragon Color Magician just helps to make this card a whole lot easier. And that's the reason why we're playing this one instead of like the Xianqi Magician, which is what I was playing before. Even though it was dark, it read really good this deck, but just being able to make this card Dragon just comes out a lot more often. Then we're playing the Dark Worm package here, so we're playing 3 copies of Supreme Queen Dragon Dark Worm. And then we're playing the one donut here. This is just a really good package as well. Being able to like Foolish Barrel this card and special summon it out with its own effect, and then at a level 7. Also, this card has the ability to, whenever you pendulum summon, this card can also pop some cards on field as well. So if you have like Odd Eyes Arc Pendulum in your skills, that you get a trigger off its effect. Then we're, of course, we're playing these small like an Endymion package here. So we're playing 2 copies of Endymion, the Mighty Master of Magic, the 1 Servitor Endymion, and the 1 Mythical Beast Jackal King. It's just a really good little small engine that I'm playing right here. And I've ordered some of the newer Perform Pal cards. I just haven't got them in the mail yet, but like I've ordered like Perform Pal Odd Eye Seer. And I want to do some playtesting with that as well, as well as some of the other Perform Pal cards that were printed earlier this year. And I may cut this package out for that, for those cards. But I don't have those cards yet. Like I said, I'm waiting for them. They're still in the mail. They're on their way. They might be delayed, of course, because with all the crazy weather and the holidays and stuff like that. So once I get those cards, I may change up this deck and I'll probably do another deck profile. But for now, though, this has actually worked out really great. Just being able to open up Servant of Endymion, even though it's just a one of, it's really big. And it puts up can easily put up Mythical Beast Jackal King, so we got protection against Nib. Or also just puts up Endymion, which is a level 7, or you can have Spell and Trap Negates as well. So this is still a very good package to play with Odd Eyes. It just goes really good, doesn't clash at all whatsoever. So the last monster in the main deck that we're playing is the Aether, the Evil Empowering Dragon. Because we can summon this card off of the Heavenly Dragon Spears, and then we can banish 1 card with this. That's a 2-card interruption there with just 1 card, and it's also a dragon as well. But that's it, guys, for the monsters in the main deck. For these spell cards, you got to play 3 Spiral Flame Strike. This just searches out any Odd Eyes, or it can also just pop cards on the field if you control an Odd Eyes in your Pendulum Zone. And then, of course, you got to play the 3 copies of Sky Iris. We're not playing Terraforming because it's not really necessary to search this card out. There's just a lot of other ways to pop cards and to search cards, but this card is still really good because it protects your skills. And only 2 copies of Duelist Alliance because it's only a hard once per turn, so opening up multiple copies, it's just too bricky. 2 copies is enough. We're also playing 2 copies of Pendulum Call. We're not going to play 3 because we're only playing 2 of the Pendulum Magicians. So 2 copies is enough. Like this card right here with the Dark Worm is a really good play because you can pitch Dark Worm with them at your 2 Magicians. And then special talking about Dark Worm from your graveyard, you control no monster. That's always a cool little combo there. But yeah, 2 copies of this is enough. You don't have to play 3. And then to search out like the Servant of Endymion or search out any Endymion card that we might need, we're playing 3 copies of Spell Power Mastery. This card is really good, just being able to search that Servant of Endymion, or also being able to put like a counter on a card that you might have. It's just really big and helps out the deck quite a bit. And also just playing more spells to kind of get our counters going as well. We're also playing the 1 Dragon Shine for Dark Worm, the 1 Foolish Barrel for Dark Worm as well. Good ratio here. Potentially though, like if you want to cut out the Endymion package, you can easily cut it out and then play like 1 more Dragon Shine. So we got 2 Dragon Shines, 1 Foolish Barrel. That also helps out as well. But yeah, this kind of works out for now as well. For consistency, guys, we're playing 3 copies of Allure of Darkness, since we play nothing but darks in our main deck. 2 Pot of Desires, and then the 1 Sacred Sword of 7 Stars. I like this card a lot because we play a bunch of level 7s, and we banish a few here and there is perfectly fine, but you still get to draw 2 here. So it's a really good card as well. Yeah, like, if you want to cut out the Endymion package, you can always play something like 1 more of these, and like I said, if you have access to the Perform Pal cards as well, they always go really good with the Odd Eyes. But like I said, I'm still waiting for those cards in the mail. But that's it for the main deck. For the extra deck, playing 2 copies of Odd Eyes Vortex, and the reason why is because sometimes we use the donut, the gate. I forgot what it's called. I call it the donut. It's the card that goes with Dark Worm, right? We use donut to pop some cards, and then you can special summon out a fusion dragon monster, XYZ dragon monster from your extra deck. So sometimes we bring out a Vortex, and we can use this Vortex for like a link, and then the other Vortex, of course, will be the fusion summon that we can use for the negate. So that's why I'm playing 2 copies of Vortex. 1 copy of Odd Eyes Absolute because it just helps go into Vortex, or it can also help bring out cards from the graveyard. It's a really good card to play with. And I wanted to make this deck as much Odd Eyes as possible because I'm a huge fan of Odd Eyes, and I know there's a lot of Odd Eyes fans out there. I'm a huge fan of Drift Gaming. I think he's one of the best, or he is the best Pendulum player out there. But every time he makes a video, I always get clickbaited into it where it says pure Odd Eyes, and I look at his video, I'm like, okay, yeah, it has Odd Eyes, but it's not pure Odd Eyes. You're only playing 3 copies of Odd Eyes Revolution Dragon, some Dark Worms, and maybe 1 Odd Eyes Arc Pendulum, and he calls it. And so I don't want to call this video pure Odd Eyes and then not play any Odd Eyes in the extra deck. So I'm playing a good amount of Odd Eyes cards in the extra deck here. So we're playing, of course, the Odd Eyes Rebellion Dragon and the Odd Eyes Rebellion Dragon Overlord. This card can LTK super easily. Which again, so like you use 2 dragons, you XYZ into this card, overlay this card into this one, it keeps all the materials, and then if it was XYZ something with this card, it can attack up to 3 times per turn. That's 3,000 attack 3 times per turn. And that's not on monsters. It's just 3,000. I mean, it's three attacks, just three attacks. Generically, it doesn't have to require. You don't have to attack much or anything. You can attack your opponent's life points directly. So this card can easily win games for you. I'm playing the one Dark Anthelian Dragon here because every now and then sometimes I have like trouble, going over some of my opponent's monsters. So this card basically does what the what's it called, the Phantom Knight rank 4 card that just like steals some attack and then gains the attack. So yeah, this card you can quick effect detach one material, and it is a quick effect though, so it's pretty cool. You can target one face-up monster your opponent controls until this turn its attack becomes half its current attack, and if it does, this card gains that lost attack. And then if this card in Monster Zone is destroyed by a better card effect, you can place it in your Pendulum Zone, so you get a really high skill. But like I said, just being able to climb over some problematic cards that I can't climb over, this card does a really good job of doing that. If you don't want to play this, though, you can easily cut this out for Borderless Savage Dragon, because that comes up as well, since we are playing the 1-tuner in the deck. Then, like I said, just keeping it performance, keeping it odd odds. I want to play the performance Gatling Goal. This card has actually helped me a lot of times in game 3, especially when I'm forced to kind of go second. If I can break my opponent's board and summon this out at the end, I can easily just win through time, because, like, if you don't know what this card does, if this card is Fusion Summon, you can inflict 200 damage to your opponent for each card on the field, and that includes your cards as well. Then if this card was Fusion Summon using a Pendulum Monster as material, which it always will be, you can destroy one monster your opponent controls, and if you do inflict damage to your opponent equal to that monster's original attack, right? So you're inflicting your opponent for cards on the field, destroying one card on the field, inflicting them for damage, and it's also a really big beat stick here. So yeah, this card is really good in game 3 when you're trying to play for time. But yeah, really good card. Really like it as well. It goes good with the anime as well. But that's it, guys, for like the fusion cards that we play. For the links, you do need the one copy of Beyond the Pendulum. I know this card has gone up in price. I hope you picked it up beforehand. But yeah, this card's really good. You absolutely need it. Heraldic Seal of the Dragons, or Heraldic Seal of the Heavenly Spears, or what I call the Dragon Ball card. Really good card as well. Like I said, provides a 2-card interruption when you tribute this off and then bring out Aether from the deck. You get a bounce away card, banish 1 card. So it's a really good card there. IP Masquerena, a really good card as well, because allows you to go into like Appaloosa, and then you get a protective from being destroyed by card effects. We Witch Apprentice, because we are playing like some darks, and you can always boost up all of your odd eyes cards with it as well, and then kind of swing for gain. One Puppets Link Queen of the Master Magician. This card's really good. Doesn't come up too much, but in this particular build, we are playing Access Code Talker. Access Code Talker just helps when you're trying to go for game on your turn 2. Like if you go turn 1 and then you sup all your negates and you're able to for the most part play out your opponent, but if your opponent actually like break some of your board, just be able to make this card and go into Access Code Talker, just allows you to go for game a lot more easier. Then the one Nightmare Unicorn, because we are playing like the IP, so you know, go to IP Nightmare Unicorn, spin back 1 card as well. The one copy of Appaloosa Bow of the Goddess, it's just a really good card, man. Puts up multiple negates, can easily stop can actually win a lot of games for you as well. And here's the one proxy I'm playing, just because of the fact that I have not got the card in the mail yet, and I didn't want to wait any longer to make this deck profile, but this should be Access Code Talker. However, if you don't have access to Access Code Talker, this is actually a really good card as well, Blackluster Soldier. Since we do play a bunch of level 7s, he's going to gain all these cool effects where he gains 1500 attack, where he can make a second attack during the battle phase of each turn, or he can banish 1 card on the field. So yeah, and then it also has a protection where it can't be destroyed by card effects. And your opponent can't target it with card effects, and it cannot be destroyed by card effects as well. So yeah, when you make this with an Odd Eyes level 7 or with the Donor or with Endymion, you get all these really cool effects, and this card is actually just a really cool boss monster to sometimes sit upon too. A lot of people just have a hard time getting over this. I was playing Sprite, I believe, with this card. Yeah, Sprites. And Sprites have a really difficult time getting over this card. Like, they have difficult times getting over any card that has like protection or has really high attack. So, still a really good alternative for Access Code, but I do believe Access Code is just slightly a little bit better. Just because it can pop cards your playing can't activate effects in response to its ability. And just being able to swing it for like 5300 attack, it's just a really good boss card as well. But that's it, guys, for the main deck and the extra deck. I'm going to go ahead and shuffle up the deck here. We're going to do one test. I'm also going to adjust my camera. So if you guys give me a couple of seconds, I'll be right back in a second. We'll go ahead and do the test time video. All right, so here we are back for the test time part of the video. Here, I'm going to shuffle the deck a couple more times. I've already shuffled it pre-hand, but just a couple more times here, and then we're going to cut it, draw out the first 5 cards, and play that out. And hopefully we don't, draw any bricks. With the amount of draw power that we have, and just we're playing a 47 card deck, I believe. You don't really brick too much. I haven't hard bricked at all. When it's a heavy note, sometimes I can only make like 3 negates or something like that. But I still have like full scale, so I have that protection. But yeah, on a really good hand, you can put up like easily 6 negates with Planet Follow for next turn. So 1 turn Endymion, 1 Flame Strike, the Foolish Burial, and another Flame Strike, which is pretty cool. This card's not a hard one for a turn, so when you draw multiple copies, that's what's really cool about it, is that you can easily search cards, and there's nothing really wrong with it at all. So yeah, this is actually not too bad of a hand here. We're gonna see what we can do with it here. So you're gonna activate Servant of ENDYMION first. You're gonna go ahead and activate Foolish Sparrow here. We're gonna go ahead and send the Dark Worm to the graveyard. Now normally we could add Dark Worm, it'd be a lot better if we already had Dark Worm because you could pitch with a Pendulum Call, but regardless, that's kind of what we have to do here. So we're gonna go ahead and send Dark Worm to the graveyard. We're going to special summon out with its own effect as well. That will allow us to search for the donut. And I call it a donut just because it actually just looks like a donut. It's the pre-king gate 0, right? But I just call it the donut. Then at this point, we can, well, so yeah, you would put a counter on Servant of ENDYMION there. And you can just go and activate both your Spiral Flame Strikes, one right after the other. It's not quick effective. I'm going to activate both at the same time just to save some time here for the video. We can add a Authorized Art Pendulum. And first, we're just going to go ahead and go and add 2 Authorized Art Pendulums here. So that's actually already 3 counters on Servant of ENDYMION, so we can activate its effects, special summon itself out. And we're going to go ahead and bring out, so we have plenty of level 7s here. We don't need another level 7. We're just going to bring out the, where's it at? The Mythical Beast Jackal King. Just to have like that interruption there for Nib. Yeah, there we are right there. And then you, of course, should put a counter on each one. That gives you 2 counters on field. So its ability to negate is actually, it's active. However, though, when you do link summon here, unfortunately, we have to link summon first here. So we're going to link using the Servant of ENDYMION, using the Supreme Cream Dragon Dark Worm. We're going to make a link here for the Beyond the Pendulum. And now we're going to go and activate Beyond the Pendulum's effect here. Let's see what we can. We're going to go ahead and add. So we can play this on a variety of different ways. I'm trying to think of how we could play it though, but I'm going to go ahead and add. We want to go ahead and add like a low scale here. So we're going to go ahead and add the Audax Persona Dragon. And then we can still activate Pendulum Call here. This, of course, put 2 more counters on the Jackal King. I don't believe we can activate its effect, though, because of Beyond the Pendulum. It has a restriction here. So, yeah, so you're allowed to add 1 Pendulum monster from your deck to your hand for the rest of your turn unless you Pendulum summon after this effect resolves. You cannot activate monster effects and the effects of any card in your Pendulum zones. And the effects of any cards in your Pendulum zones are negated, right? So, fortunately, I don't think we can protect us against Nib here. That's perfectly fine. So, we're going to activate Pendulum Call. And we're going to go ahead and discard the Iodized Art Pendulum. And we can always bring that card back anyways with this card if something's destroyed on field. So it's in the graveyard, it's still perfectly fine there. And we're going to go ahead and add the Harmonizing Magician and the Dragon Caller. And just remember that this card always has a restriction where your Magician monsters cannot be destroyed by card effects. Magician cards in your Pendulum zones cannot be destroyed by card effects. So just make sure you don't put the Magician cards in your scales and then try to pop them because you can't do that. But yeah, so we're going to go ahead and scale the Persona. We're going to scale the Iodized Art Pendulum here. Now we're going to go ahead and Pendulum Summon here. So we're going to bring out the Dragon Caller, the Supreme King Gate 0. We can bring out the Harmonizing Magician as well. And then we could also bring out the Supreme King Dragon Dark Worm. And so what I like to do here is we're going to go ahead and activate Dragon Caller's effect first. This is after we Pendulum Summon here. So we can go and activate its effect, make it a dragon. And now using the Dark Worm and using the Dragon Caller. One reason why I like to play this card as well is because now you can just go ahead and make your Hieratic Seal. And now we can activate Supreme King Gate Zero's effect. We can pop it itself and pop another card on field. And now we can special summon a fusion monster from our extra deck, or just any kind of a we call it any fusion or XYZ dragon, but you can't use it as dragon material. And this will also trigger the Authorized Art Pendulum to be able to special summon from deck. And also whenever the donut is popped, it will go ahead and just put itself back in the scales there. So we got set scales. And then we can at this point go ahead and summon out from our main deck the Form Pal Iodized Dissolver. And now with Iodized Dissolver, it has the ability to fusion summon. So we can fusion summon using monsters that we control as fusion material, as well as monsters you control or cards in your pendulum zone as well. So since the donut counts as a dark monster and it's a pendulum monster as well, and we have Perform Pal Odd Eyes, so we have an Odd Eyes here, we can actually go ahead and make a Odd Eyes play here. So we can make a Odd Eyes Vortex here, since we're using one Odd Eyes monster plus one pendulum monster. And then now using your Vortex and your Harmonizing Magician here, you can go ahead and link these two off for an IP Masquerena. And that will be our inboard there. I'm just going to go ahead and read the Gate Zero's effect. You're going to So you can target one other face-up card you control, destroy both in this card if you use special one Dragon type fusion monster from or go from your extra deck. So that's what we did. But its attack events becomes 0, its effects are negated. Also, can use some material for a secret XYZ summon, so we didn't do that. And then if this card monster is destroyed by a battle card, you can place it in your pendulum zone. So yeah, play that out just fine. And this is our inboard. Sorry, with the amount of reading with pendulum cards and stuff like that, you always got to reread your cards, man. It's just how Yu-Gi-Oh is. And so yeah, here's our inboard here. This will be in the extra deck though. So in our extra deck we have a good amount of or this card will go to the graveyard. Yeah, in our extra deck we got plenty of cards for Odd Eyes Vortex to shuffle back into the deck. We can also pendulum summon some cards out as well. But what we have here, so then now on our opponent's turn, guys, we have Mythical Beast Jackal King already has numerous counters on him. Probably has like 4, I think. We have a Heraldic, so we have a Heraldic so that can bounce a card back. So like on our opponent's turn, we can use this to tribute itself off. Bounce one card opponent controls back to the hand. We can also special summon out the Aether. Now you actually have 2 targets that you can bring out. You can bring out the Aether to banish one card your opponent controls, or if your opponent, if maybe you just want to negate something, you can also bring out Persona, and then quick effect you can negate one monster from the extra deck face up that's in your opponent's field. But I always like to bring out Aether; it's just a lot better. If you bring out Aether, you can banish one card your opponent controls, or also if you bring out like Persona and then it's destroyed by battle by card effect. We do have Odd Eyes Arc Kingdom in the graveyard, which can also bring it out from the graveyard as well if this card is destroyed by battle by card effect. Yeah, usually Aether is a better option here. And then we got the one Omni Negate with Vortex. We got the one Monster Negate with Jackal. And depends on what you want to do though. So like if you feel like you already used Jackal, maybe your opponent still has a lot of cards to use. Like you can always go use like IP Masquerena, and you can do like all 4 of these here into a 4 Negate Appaloosa that can't be destroyed by battle by card effects. All right, that gives you another 4 interruptions. So like a total, that's 1 interruption. That's 2. Here's 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Right, it's 8 interruptions there. If you have cards in hand, you can always go for like Nightmare Unicorn though. But if you want to keep Mythical Beast Jackal King, sometimes you can keep him on because he's actually a really big monster. You can keep him on board, and this will just be a 3 negate, so that's 7 interruptions. Plus, you still got plenty of arrows here, to pendulum summon for your next turn. Assuming that we do draw like a low scale. But regardless, so this is still, that's 7 to 8 interruptions your opponent has to play through. Like, let's just say, like, we go into our turn 2. If we draw any kind of a low scale or anything that can just pendulum summon from the extra deck, it's automatically gained. Or even like a Sky Iris would also be really good too. So Pod Desires, that's even better. You're going to banish. I'm going to banish 10 there. Draw 2. Oh wow, Lord Darkness and Sky Iris. So we can go and you can activate Sky Iris here. Like I'm just saying, I'm gonna set it here though. You can activate Sky Iris, pop out as Vortex. It'll send itself to the graveyard. You can add a low scale here at this point. Just anything you want to add. Anything like a low scale would be perfect because you got a scale 8 there. So we still have one Odd Eyes Persona in deck. And of course, since an Odd Eyes card was destroyed by card effect, you can bring back your Odd Eyes Vortex because it was fusion summoned properly. You can bounce one card your opponent controls. You can scale the Odd Eyes Persona Dragon there. I don't want to risk the Allure of Darkness there because we may not draw into any more darks. But now we can perform a a pendulum summon here. And we can easily just bring out like so you can bring out your Dragon Caller here. You can bring out a Supreme King Gate 0. And then maybe like I would just bring out the Aether because it's a little bit more stronger though. Like if you feel like your opponent has no more negates, you can once again go into Access Code Talker though. But if you don't have access to Access Code Talker, it's perfectly fine to understand. Oh no, sorry. So yeah, we actually can't even go. We can't go into the Rebellion XYZ because it requires 2 dark monsters. No, it just requires 2 dragon types. Yeah, so sorry. So you can overlay here, and you can make your Auto Rebellion. Then you can XYZ over it, keeping all the materials for Dragon Overlord. So now you got a card that has 3,000 attack here. We can't use Gate 0 because unfortunately it's not a dragon. So yeah, we got a monster that can make three attacks, has 3,000 attack, and you can still actually go ahead and make your Axis Code Talker here. Or not, what you can do is just go ahead and, if you don't have access to Axis Code Talker here, I got you guys covered. Simply just use those 3 and make your Black Luster Soldier. Still leaving you with 1 negate, 1 monster negate in case your opponent has anything. But this actually should be game here, right? This is after your opponent had to play through 7 to 8 interruptions, and then still allowing you to do this. We still have Allure of Darkness, so we could have activated it. You would have got something there? Yeah, so, yeah, nothing there, but whatever, though. This is enough for game here. 9,000 attack. That's 12,000. 14,400 attack. GG's, or like I said, this could also be Axis Code Talker as well. And if you have made Axis Code Talker, once again, you'd give it a pop 1, 2, 3 cards, and it would have, we used it with an Appaloosa, so it would have had the attack boost there. That's clearing out your opponent's board. Plus, don't forget the Odd Eyes board text and the broad back. I could bounce 1 card back to your opponent control. So yeah, GG's guys. This is Odd Eyes in 2022, still playable, and yeah, for the most part, like I said, it is pure Odd Eyes. We ended on a pure Odd Eyes board. We got scales, we got Odd Eyes on field. But yeah, hope you guys have enjoyed it. If you have extra, hit that like button down below. Also, if you haven't, guys, please subscribe to my channel. It's just a super easy way for you to support me as a content creator. And it's also just to give me that motivation to continue making content for you guys as well. And also, guys, I guarantee you that if you subscribe today, you will always draw the out. And of course, in Yu-Gi-Oh, that's always important to draw the out. So yeah, subscribe today, guys, if you want to draw the out. But anyways, thank you guys for watching. Happy New Year. Hope you guys had a really fantastic New Year. Some good holidays as well. But yeah, thank you guys for watching. We'll catch you on the next one. Peace out.